Hello everyone, my name is Marcin and today I want to talk about retouching. Today is not a tutorial, but I just want to have the easy talk with you about how much retouching is needed for the images. And I'm talking about professional retouching and I'm talking about the real world, because the fact that someone show off their skills on YouTube or on the internet, how much dodge and burn they did and how flawless the portrait is, doesn't mean it's good and doesn't mean it has any use in real world. So let's talk about real world of retouching. Recently I've been getting some questions from the students about how much retouch is actually needed on the image, and many of these people say they struggle with doing dodge and burn, they struggle with over retouching the image. And the fact is, there is a lot of misinformation, especially on YouTube. I see a lot of people trying to teach how to use dodge and burn, and from what I see, many of these tips show how the dodge and burn work, so working with the lights, but it doesn't really show how much retouch should be done and how you should actually retouch with dodge and burn, and this leads to over retouching. I saw a lot of beauty images on the internet that are actually overdone, that are flawless, and when you share that on different social media, they get applause for just how great you did, how much work you put. But the fact you put a lot of work, the fact your image is flawless, is not always a good thing. And I want my students to understand what is really important in the retouching. So if you understand that, stick in this video. So this is actually well retouched image. Was a lot of work done, but what I want you to see when it comes to the cleaning the skin, you want to preserve the natural shadows. So I saw a lot of videos, including the YouTube videos, where the people teach, oh, here we have the shadow in this part of the nose, on the top of the nose or somewhere just under the eye, where is the shadows, and they show how you should brighten up this area. In fact, let me mark this. I'm going to create a new layer. So in fact, there are certain areas, like the area that is over here, and this area over here should actually have some shadow. Here, the light bends here, so if you remove this shadow here, and if you remove the shadow here, the image is going to look weird. Also, the area here should not be completely flat as well. The area here should not be flat. Of course, when it comes to the cheekbones, it should not be flat. And there is really a lot of videos. Here we have other areas, and there is really a lot of videos that present the dodge and burning on these areas and making them completely flat. And it's a horrible mistake. And you might build your beauty portfolio on that, showing how much work you did, but you won't be getting works. Because when it comes to the high-end photography, the photography that matter, fashion magazines, commercial projects, when people see your work, they will think it's not the model. The model has the shadow when the light bends. The model has the features on the face that you actually remove. So don't over retouch. If you spend more than 1 hour on dodge and burn, that's the reason that's the point to worry about. If you spend more than half an hour doing dodge and burn on beauty image, something probably not right. So I showed you this image that is actually, as I said, there's a lot of work done, but as you can see, there is still natural shadows, there is still natural lights, and this is the image actually from my course that I share. But now let's move to the portfolio, and I want to show you that the real world work that I get from my customers has even less retouch. And it doesn't mean it's not enough. It means the more is not required it means the more will be bad. So let's move to my portfolio now. So I do mostly fashion, but there is still a lot of portrait images. There is still some beauty project, and I just opened a few images that I want to show you how I did. So let's start with this image. This image was done by photographer Dominika Jarczyńska. It was Marie Claire, Mexico. The link is to my portfolio if you want to check. And look at this image. Look at the shadow on the forehead. I did Dutch and burn, and you could clearly see, but under the eyes, the model still has shadows. That's her natural feature. On the nose, there is still shadow. So when it comes to the regular portraits or fashion images, too much Dutch and burn is bad. It actually should be very settled, not too much. You can actually see on the body, when there was some lines, I did Dutch and burn, but then you can see it's not perfect. The image cannot be perfect, so that's the real world. The showing off doesn't really have any use in the real retouching world. So I want you to pay attention to it. And this is actually another project, and you can see again shadows here on the nose, shadows here, shadows here. I'm getting the question often, why you didn't retouch this? Because it did not mean to be retouched. Who told you it should be retouched? Who told you it should be Dutch and burn? So no one really say that except the people who show too much on YouTube. But you need to understand the fact that you know how to retouch doesn't mean you understand the image. So try to understand how the business works. And here's more retouch, but as you can see under the eye here and here, there's still the shadow. And the nose here. I actually was getting questions why I left the shadow on some nose. Because these are the natural shadows that should exist there. So next time, if you wonder how much retouch should be done, this is my answer. In the real world, we have different shadows on the face. In real world, we have some imperfections. And I'm not talking about the pimples. These should be removed. I'm talking about the face features. So the fact that someone showed you brighten up completely all the shadows that circulate around the eye on YouTube doesn't mean you will get a job because you know how to do it. So real retouching is what I'm trying to teach, and I hope this is actually helpful. If you want to learn a little bit more about retouching essentials, how to retouch the image, please check my free portrait retouching course on my website retouchingninja.com, and the link is in the description. And next time I will actually come with the tutorial, because I know you prefer tutorials, but sometimes we just need to talk. We just need to talk because I want to make sure that the skills I'm teaching you will have usage in the real world, and then that you can find some job and that you can work in the industry. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.